The NYPD has a saying, New York's finest. But what happens when one of New York's finest is the one the force needs protection from? Meet Jeremy Scheublin, NYPD Inspector, 24-year veteran, commanding officer of the 46th Precinct in the Bronx. An inspector doesn't get there by accident. That's a career. That's trust. That's the department looking at someone over 2 decades and saying, this person should lead. This person should command. This person should command. This person should have power over hundreds of officers and the community they serve. Here's what that man did with that power. New Year's Day, 2025. The 46th Precinct Station House in Fordham Heights. A female officer, a decorated 5-year veteran of the force, was on duty. Scheublin tricked her into being alone with him. He threw her onto a couch. He tried to remove her gun belt. He wrapped his hand around her neck. He forcibly kissed her, groped her. And while he was doing it, he said the words that should end any career, any badge, any pension. I don't know whether to kiss or choke you. He told her he wanted to make, quote, biracial babies. She fought back. She kicked him in the groin. She got out. She survived. And then she did the hardest thing a cop can do. She reported it to the NYPD's Internal Affairs Bureau. Here's what the NYPD did with that report. Nothing for a year. They knew in January 2025. Internal Affairs contacted the Bronx District Attorney's Office that same month. And Jeremy Scheublin stayed in command, armed, with his gun, his badge, his authority, over a precinct, over the woman he attacked, over every officer who watched what happened next. It took until January 2026, a full year, before he was even placed on modified duty. Stripped of his gun and shield, demoted to a borough command post. And when he was finally removed, it wasn't because the NYPD did the right thing. It was because the woman he attacked filed a civil lawsuit in March 2026. She forced their hand. The lawsuit details what happened after she reported him. Retaliation. Scheublin altered her schedule, signed her up for 3 a.m. shifts, removed her longtime partner, cut her overtime to the tune of $20,000 in lost income in a single year. He made her professional life unbearable. He targeted her ability to balance motherhood. He tried to break her. And the NYPD let him do it, because for an entire year, they chose him over her. On July 10, 2026, Scheublin finally surrendered. A grand jury indicted him on attempted rape, first-degree sexual abuse, assault, unlawful imprisonment, official misconduct, and obstructing governmental administration. Prosecutors asked for $150,000 bail. The judge set it at $75,000. Scheublin posted it immediately, walked out of the courtroom, ignored reporters' questions. He's now suspended without pay and has, quote, put in for his retirement. Her attorney, John Scola, said it best. There is no question about what the NYPD knew, or when it knew it. This is institutional cowardice, plain and simple. A police department that exists to protect the public could not bring itself to protect one of its own officers from a predator wearing its own uniform. Every day the NYPD left Jeremy Scheublin in command and armed was a day it chose him over her, and a day it told every officer watching that reporting a sexual assault gets you punished while the assailant keeps his gun and his power. 24 years. That's how long the NYPD let this man climb the ranks. 1 year. That's how long they let him stay in power after learning what he did. 1 kick to the groin, that's what saved her. And $20,000, that's what it cost her, to tell the truth. The NYPD will tell you they have zero tolerance for misconduct, but the timeline tells you everything. They didn't fire him. They didn't arrest him. They didn't even take his gun. She had to sue them before they did their jobs. New York's finest.